out for this exclusive talk show with me, Amit Nahar, uh, to help you stop wishing and start doing. The franchise industry of India is uh, is set for some turbulent times and some exciting times. We are going to unravel what the turbulence ahead is and what are the opportunities that we can see beyond this turbulence. That's precisely what I'm going to talk of. And with me in this talk, we have Bandana. Bandana is part of the Sparkle Minds team. She's one of our senior consultants and is actively engaged with a large number of franchisors. She's got hundreds of franchisors that she's talking to, and they have a lot of questions that they've brought to her along with the entire team. We also have other team members who are talking to different franchisors, and we'll be more than happy to take all your questions. Please start posting your questions, whether you've joined us live on LinkedIn, whether you've joined us live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. We are streaming across all platforms, and we are eagerly looking forward to your questions. I definitely would want to bring my experience onto this webinar to help you understand how to make the most of these times. So, this, I think, is one great opportunity for me to interact with you and make the most out of this session that we can do together. So I am super excited and I look forward to the questions that you all have for me. So I'm bringing in Bandana. Bandana,
Yeah,
please, let the audience know what
yeah,
we're
yeah,
covering today, and
yeah.
we'll take it from there on.
Yeah, thank you, sir, for the introduction. So, topic, like every day, that I'm speaking to all the franchises and franchisee, and now because this is a tough time and pandemic is going on, so like they are thinking how to take their business to the next level. So I want to know from you that is it the right time for the franchisor to think about expansion? What is the overview? In the franchising industry post COVID-19, and is the right time to buy franchising? If I talk about franchisee seekers who wants to take the franchising, so they should invest money or not in this time. And then so we are into this franchisee world. We want to know also like what will be our role. Suppose I'm talking about the vital role during this difficult time. Can we contribute something through our service? And if I'm thinking about being a franchisor or franchisee, should I stop wishing or start doing the things? I have to start converting into an action. I want to know all these things because every day I'm getting these questions, and I think this is what the reason that we are doing this discussion today.
Yeah, definitely. I understand. Look at things around us. These are really difficult times, and I believe as a as a responsible service provider,
Yeah.
we have our own role to play. And I'm fortunate that we belong to an industry. The franchise industry of India is a great place to be able to contribute to the growth of our nation, to the growth of our economy during these difficult times, especially because it warrants small businesses.
Mhm.
Our entire economy is centered around small businesses, is entered around these small entrepreneurs. This is the backbone of our middle class, and
Mhm.
franchising is going to play a vital role for this particular industry, for this particular category.
Okay.
I'm also going to talk about why this is a great time
Mhm.
for entrepreneurs to look at opportunities, especially because of the scenario
Yeah.
that we are currently looking at. It is definitely a very very precarious scenario, I would say, and there is a lot of caution that we need to take, uh, because 2020 has been a year of consternation, a year of lot of fluidity, lot of confusion. For
Yeah.
some businesses, this has been the worst year in their history, and for some businesses, It's been probably the greatest year in their life cycle. So we've seen both the coins, and we believe that we are very well prepared to be able to look into the future. So where does the franchise industry stand? Now let's look at typically the franchise industry of India for 2021, and how the franchise model works in India. Especially, a lot of franchisors are trying to understand the context of Indian franchising, and how their model can work within that context, and how our entrepreneurs can use this franchise model, how it works for them.
Yeah.
So, well, if you see, the total turnover is estimated at around 938 billion. We're talking of a very large number of the turnover that is there. We are contributing to approximately 1.8% of Indian GDP today. Uh,
Franchise sector.
when I Yes, yes. When I started this journey 22 years back,
Yeah.
franchising was very, very negligible in India. In fact, we could count franchisors on our fingertips, and there was nothing at all. I mean, I used to go about telling people the difference between distributorship, agencies, dealerships, and franchising, and just educating them on what this new format of doing business is. So we've come a long way. We've come to 1.8% of the GDP, and I'm sure that it is going to grow to a large percentage, at least 4 to 5% by around 2025. We have between 8 to 10,000 franchisors in India currently. Our data at franchisebazaar.com suggests, we have around 16% of global brands that are franchising. There are around 32% national brands,
Yeah.
and there are 52% regional brands. A lot of city centric brands. You could be successful in your particular city, you could be doing very well in your particular city. So you are expanding within your city first, and then probably your region, and then going national, and then going international. There's a lot of influx of international brands as well coming into India. So there's great opportunity that this segment, that this industry is poised for, that we're looking at.
Okay.
So here comes the most important question as to whether, you know, is this the best time to franchise your business, or is this the best time to buy a franchise? So I'll talk about what the scenario is. You look at the increasing income and purchasing power that India is witnessing.
Yeah.
We are a country that has 131 trillion, disposable income. In 2018, that was the number. We've come to approximately 209 trillion right now in 2021. It should go to 217 trillion. The speed is a little slower because of this pandemic, but yet the numbers are still there. Look at the disposable income number that we have in the country. It is sizable. You
Yeah.
can't ignore these numbers. We are also looking at a very increased spending, especially for COVID related requirements, discretionary items, as against necessities that we're talking of. So
Yeah.
there is, along with the necessities, we are seeing a lot of spending that is happening around the COVID requirements as well. The emergence of Bharat, now that I believe is some of the most important things that we are looking at when we are working with a lot of MNCs, when we are franchising businesses for MNCs who are looking at deeper penetration into tier 2, tier 3 smaller towns and villages of India. I mean, we receive over 100 requests from the smaller towns and cities of India,
Yeah.
even today, asking us for different businesses. And I mean, some names, some cities, some towns we've not heard also are coming up on the scene, and the volume of businesses that they're doing. I mean, we work with several companies which have some fantastic. I remember doing a retail business with one particular company, doing a crore and a half rupees of sale every month in a very small town. So there is tremendous opportunity in Bharat, as we call.
All right.
Again, India is a young country. We are a That's the boon that we have. We are a country of young entrepreneurs.
Sure.
Uh, in fact, you look at all franchise owners, 35% of all franchise owners are generally first timers in business. COVID has only pushed more number of people looking at franchising.
Yeah.
In fact, we are seeing low cost workers also coming into the fray. We are seeing seasoned career professionals
Mm.
looking at opportunities which franchisors before, I mean, 10 years ago, when we used to create a franchise model,
Mm.
we used to think whether we are going to get a profile of this kind.
Mm.
And I remember doing a franchise model 2 months back for a very large MNC in the home automation industry, and we said we are looking at a specific kind of of a franchisee, and only we are going to approve the franchise model if we are going to get that kind of a franchisee, which means that those kind of people are available. In fact, we've already
Well,
appointed a franchise for that brand, and we found the right match from a very seasoned professional who took up that franchise. So those kind of franchisees are available. Large number of low cost workers also are getting into this play. So if
yeah.
you have a work from home opportunity, if you have an opportunity which women can sit at home and contribute, then this is a great time. I mean, you have abundant resources out there who are looking at taking up your franchise. Now look, again, as I told you, the Bharat of India is emerging. We have tier 2 and tier 3 cities from where there is a lot of money available there. There is a lot of capital ready to be invested, and people are looking at franchises that are doing well in bigger cities of their
Yeah.
states. And this is a great time for you to look. If you are from one of those cities or towns, then you should look at taking up a franchise in that category. So we also have, we're getting questions. Somebody's just asked me as to how to make a franchise disclosure
Mhm.
document.
Yeah.
I'm going to come to your questions. These are very interesting questions. Please keep posting your questions down here, and I'm going to take your questions as we talk and as we move forward. So the next point that I'd like to cover
Yeah.
is we are getting privatized, and we are getting globalized.
Yeah.
Look at what the government is doing in the education, healthcare, telecommunication. Look at the focus that we are having on manufacturing, and see how some of the biggest brands in India, which are manufacturers, look at the telecom segment, the electronics segment, they're all using franchisees, MI, or any of these brands. They're all looking at franchisees. They're using the franchise model very effectively, and we've seen companies appointing thousands of franchisees in no time. And this is because privatization is being pushed, globalization is being welcomed. So we have top world class brands coming in and bringing in great systems and processes. Now look at what McDonald's and KFC has done in India. I mean, the entire food segment, the food industry is revolutionized because of the systems and processes that they've bought in. And we've learned very quickly, and we've used a lot of systems and processes for food brands looking at expanding, because these brands have used them very diligently in India as well.
Yeah.
So the world's best franchising is happening right now in India, and you can utilize the world's best franchising for your business because of this globalization that we have.
Okay.
Of course, the last point that I would like to make is
Yeah.
amongst the most generic points in favor of franchising. All of us know at how 90% of most startups fail, and how a larger percentage of those companies, if they are using the franchise model, if you're a franchisee, then the chances of success is higher. It also makes it very appealing to the Indian investor and business seeker, which means that if I'm a property investor, there are different kinds of franchises in India. There are investors who just want to put in money. There
Yeah.
are there are guys who will say, I want to invest my time, but I don't have money. There are people who are very well skilled. There are people who want to put in a bit of money, use their time, use their skill. It's a combination of all of that. So using franchising has different variations that we've used. I'm also proud to say that we've kind of built a India franchise model for several franchises. What works internationally
Yeah.
works differently in India, and as a franchisee also, people perform differently like how in Western countries the training programs are slightly different. Our training programs are slightly different. So there is a fine tuning in that sense. We've ensured that we are doing it the Indian way, and yet using the world's best systems and processes that can work for brands. So franchising is definitely tuned to a lower rate of failure. Having said that, we always say to all the entrepreneurs that be focused, choose the franchisees wisely. Once you choose it wisely, the chance of failure is very, very less. So it's a great opportunity for you. I would say start looking at options, at opportunities, because companies are at this point in time willing to give you the additional leeway. You can go farther with them. You can negotiate terms with them. They listen to you at this point in time. They'll also be empathetic to you, I would say, because they understand the difficulties that are there in the marketplace, and they will give you the benefit, the advantage, higher support, higher spending from their side to be able to make you successful. And I believe that this is the function of this time, around this period. So yes, this is the best time to franchise your business, I would say.
I think yeah, this is because I think yesterday also we're doing one webinar, and most of the entrepreneurs who came with us, they were the graduates. Just now they have done their graduation, and now they are showing interest and they want to take the franchising. So it is a great step. I think they can take the franchising. Yeah. Also, I think I want to know one more thing is that many viewers have joined and they are asking questions. Yeah. Yeah. So from you, I want to know, sir, that what are the top segments, which are doing good and in which our business seekers or franchisor can invest money, or they can, take their business if they are into these segments to the next level, especially during this time.
Yes. So again, hundreds of franchisors asking us if they can franchise their business. I mean, we are right now getting somebody on the screen who's saying that I'm a ceramic tiles manufacturer.
Yeah.
Can I franchise my business? Of course, you can. And there is great opportunity around the home construction industry. I'm coming to that part in a while. So
Yeah.
we're talking about different categories of segments, or different categories of businesses which you can buy as a franchisee, or
Okay.
which you can expand if you're in this particular segments. So I'm
Yeah.
going to cover six interesting segments or industries. I've picked these segments and these industries from our experience of working. I mean, through the entire lockdown, even during the last year, we've seen some great businesses growing.
Yeah.
So amongst the businesses that is witnessing growth at this point in time is healthcare. So
Yeah.
if you look at the Indian healthcare market, we are expected to reach 372 billion US dollars by 2022. The
Okay.
government plans to increase its healthcare spending from 1.6 to 2.5% of GDP.
Mm.
The Indian e-health sector is projected to grow by 13x to become a 16 billion opportunity by 2025. India is home to a very large number of health tech startups. Around 5,295 is the numbers that we've got, and out of this, there's a large amount of VC activity happening in this space.
Yeah.
So there is tremendous amount uh, of uh, of interest in the healthcare segments. So if you are in one of these healthcare categories that I'm talking of, I'm going to show you the next slide, which is about the different opportunities, different segments within the healthcare opportunities that are just perfect for you to expand or for you to look at. So look at diagnostic labs, look at collection centers,
Mm.
look at alternative health practices like homeopathy, Ayurvedic, medical spas. All of these businesses should be franchised right now. If you're in a pharmacy, PCD, if you're running a medicine store, If you're into sanitizers, masks, which probably half of India is right now in, but if you're doing it the branded way, if you're looking at supplemental supplies, if you're in clinics, nursing homes, hospitals, the dental, the cosmetology, and most importantly, the at-home services.
Mm-hmm.
Healthcare is the blue-eyed boy of the franchising industry at this point in time. So you should look at ensuring that if you're a healthcare business, then you should immediately start expanding the business that we're talking of.
All right.
So go ahead and start expanding your healthcare business. I'll come to the second category of the segments that are witnessing growth.
Mm-hmm.
Education, especially the e-education space. All of us know that print has literally shrunk to 25 to 30% of the pre-COVID era. I mean, education is becoming increasingly affordable and accessible. All you need today is a smartphone, or a simple tab or a simple laptop, to be able to get started with any classroom activity that you want to, any learning that you want to, any training program that you want to go to. So we have 1.2 billion children globally out of the classroom at this point in time. Look at the valuation that Byju's, Vedantu, Topper, and the other companies have created for themselves, and how they are servicing approximately 265 million school-going students in India alone. It's a very large number. Upgrad reached a million user in just no time, and they're using the franchise model as well. So if so we're seeing a large amount of time that people are spending in education apps, in smartphones, in tabs. So if you're a conventional classroom business, if you're an education business, it's time to move on. It's time to modernize your business, and use the modern tools that are available to be able to grow. So that brings us to the segment of what kind of education businesses are doing well at this point in time. So if you're a digital marketing training company, if you're look at every company at this point in time, they're looking out for digital marketing services. The only way to reach a consumer today is not a storefront. During this lockdown, you have to have digital presence. So the kind of business that the digital marketing training companies are doing is humongous. Now you look at the vocational skills, and the category around the robotics and the mobile telecom, and those particular uh, segments. So all of this is actually expanding very well. Looking at the coaching and tutorials segment, embracing tech, using a hybrid online and offline model is the way forward. So that's precisely what you need to do to be able to ensure that if you're in the education space, you should franchise your business now. Look at if you're an entrepreneur, you should look at buying an education business in these categories. These are the ones that are primed for growth, not the ones that are very dependent on a hardcore, storefront classroom presence alone. It has to be a hybrid model. It works very well during these times. We'll come to the next segment. Yes, uh, everybody is really worried about retail at this point in time. We are saying that our retail business is going to be there. So look at the convenience store industry. Let's look at the traditional convenience stores. What has happened to them? They've all, they're all going to transform into any branded franchise. It's only a matter of time. With what GeoMart is doing in India, and with what other players like Big Basket, Amazon, Flipkart, they've made great inroads in no time. They've probably done the fastest rollout in the world in their own histories in India. So that's what is happening in retail. We need to move forward. I'm going to show you certain interesting trends in retail that we are seeing at this point in time. And if you're a retailer, if you're a shopkeeper, if you have a business in the retail space, then these trends are important trends for you. Look at what these brands in these categories have done. Uh, Taking you to the next section of some of the interesting trends in the retail space that we've seen. You see what's happened with eyewear stores. Our country had the local eye chashme wali dukan at every important market sections, or maybe your downtowns or your market hubs for these particular shops. But slowly and gradually, the lens cuts of the world and the Titan eyes of the world are taking over. And why they're taking over? It's because it's not because they understand the eyewear business better. The traditional eyewear retailers definitely have over 30, 40 years of experience, 20, 30 years of experience of running this business. They understand the customer quite well. But what these modern brands have done is they've presented their entire model in a very, very convenient manner, in a very modern manner, and something that suits the online generation. And hence, a combination of online and offline has worked very well. I mean, look at a conventional category. I remember the discussions we were having with prominent jewelry brands when we were working with them, as to will customers move away from their traditional jewelers that they've been buying since generations. I remember working with a fashion jewelry brand, with a salon brand, which where we said, our customers going to come to a mall to buy a salon service, or buy a, a jewelry. So times have changed. I mean, today we have salons in malls all over, but at that point in time, 15 years ago, we were contemplating whether this is going to happen, whether that consumer shift will happen. Well, these are big brands. They've invested money. They've ensured that the customers have come in. But for all other people in this category, now I believe one of the most exciting category is around the construction industry, construction related industry. Whether you're building a home, whether you're a furniture brand, whether you're a home furnishing brand, whether you're a home automation, whether you're appliances, whether you're electronics, lighting, decor, name it, there is tremendous amount of growth lying there. If you're a franchisee, I mean, we've covered some interesting webinars of different brands in these categories. Go to our franchise bazaar webinars. You will see some interesting brands that we're covering. We're going to cover one of 100, total 100 brands for 2021, for you to look at options that could match your requirements. So, look at, we've seen what Pepper Fry has done, what Live Space has done. TTK Prestige has got large number of franchisees. They operate the traditional distributor dealer model. They have an e-commerce model. They also have a robust, franchise model in place. We look at Schneider, who's now coming into India in the home automation industry. So all of these are large brands with large, with deep pockets. And as franchisees, when you look at taking up these brands, you are bound to get great support. And of course, if you match the requirements, these could be great opportunities just that could match your requirements. So we'll move to the next slide, which will talk about the next segment that we're talking of, which is amongst most people's favorite. We look at our food brands. Now, I'll tell you a very interesting story about one brand that we worked with in this pandemic. It's called Yelnir Katte, and seven friends started this in the last October, November, around the during this pandemic itself. December they started the operation, and January I think they did 20 lakh rupees of sale. With an investment of 8 lakh rupees, they ended up doing 20 lakh rupees of sale in month one. That's the potential of the food industry in India if you catch the niche correctly. So one thing is that catch a very, very important niche. We also worked with a 15-year-old vada pav brand during this last year, and they're doing very well. Their franchises are taken. Also, what has happened is that the traditional food business has moved now to cloud kitchens, has moved to takeaways and delivery led models. What this pandemic has done, And what the Zomatos and the Swiggies of the world has done is that they've propelled the food industry in a very different direction. Today, a home kitchen, a home rasoi, a lady in the house can also create a brand and then present her brand to her audience and use franchises for her expansion. The possibilities have become multifold. You just need to use the possibility correctly if you are in the food business. I mean, look at the cloud kitchen industry. It's valued at approximately 2.23 billion by 2027. It's going to go to that level. The Indian cloud kitchen market is going to reach the 1 billion mark by 2023. There are multiple segments of this market that is moving on. Big brands, the Zomatos and the Swiggies who are filing for IPOs right now, are going to put in this money in this segment, and they've already created. I mean, Swiggy already has created 200 co brands. So there is a tremendous growth in this segment, and the traditional business models are looking up to cloud kitchens as their savior. So I would say this is a great opportunity for food brands. I am getting questions which says that what is the platform, the reach that you'll have in social media platforms in terms of getting leads. How do I find my first 10 franchise partners? I'm going to cover that. The first 10 franchise partners are very, very important. We'll come back to that at the end of the session. Please stay connected with us, and please keep posting your questions. We will cover all your questions and we will give you the answers that you're looking at. Let's move to the next category, which I believe is amongst the most opportune category at this point in time. That is e-commerce. If you look at, we are supposed to reach $99 billion by 2024, and we are growing at approximately 27% CAGR from 2019 to 2024. The Indian e-retail market, I spoke of how retail is now, moving to e-retail. It is primed to reach 300 to 350 million shoppers. Nowhere other than China does a country in the world have this number of shoppers growing over the next 5 years. So look at the opportunity that you have there to be able to present a brand to the consumers. There are 350 million customers who are going to come to buy your product or service. So you don't want to, the gross merchandise value, we're talking of 100 to 120 billion by 2025. That's a huge number. You want a chunk of that in your pie. You want to have that purse coming to you. And of course, the market is just starting off, which means that in a survey conducted, there were 69% of people who shopped on e-commerce generally bought groceries and essential supplies to start with, and then started moving on to other things because of the great experience that they have had in this category. So you should use a very, very efficient franchise model. We've done this for several e-commerce companies. We've done this for several e-retail companies. And if you have a model that can sell, if you sell via online, you might be thinking, okay, if I'm selling online, why do I need franchises? Well, the last mile connectivity will happen through franchises. There are a lot of things that the franchisee can accomplish at the local level by having a physical store, by integrating what is happening. I mean, if you look at the percentages of sale that online brand like lenskart.com does versus what they physically do, their percentage of sales physically is beyond, I think, beyond 75-80% on retail, on the ground, on their retail stores, whereas their online sale is much, much lesser, though they look like an online brand. So if just being an online brand also might not be sufficient for you. You will have to have a hybrid model that can work very nicely for you, and which can get you working with the right kind of franchisees. So as a franchisee, buying these brands or buying franchisees of an e-commerce brand can be a great buy at this point in time. So closely related to the e-commerce industry is the cargo, courier, logistics industry of India. Well, all of us understand, we're going to reach 215 billion by the end of 2020. We've got to that point with a increase, with a growth rate of say 10.5%. There is great demand for essentials. There is great, you know, development in technology. Consumer preferences are changing. Government thought process is changing. They're going to spend billions in infrastructure, improved corridors, economic corridors, road and railway infrastructure.
So thank you for explaining
So
all
no,
this.
I think there's one more part, Bandana. Quickly,
Yeah,
I'll finish this, and then you can take over. So
yeah.
so we have dedicated freight corridors. You look at what the Amazons and the Flipkarts, the
Yeah.
delivery, the Zomato, the DTDC, Gati, and we're serving 19,100 pin codes. So if
Mm-hmm.
you're a logistics, if you're looking at a logistics courier franchise, send in your pin codes to our team members. They will connect with some of the top brands and help you understand if that franchise is available, and you can buy that franchise. It's a great opportunity at this point in time, because everything is getting shipped home, and you'd want to be a part of that, that commerce transaction, and make a pie out of that.
Yeah.
So that would cover the segments that we're talking of. Bandana, you can take it from here.
Yeah. So I think thank you for explaining all the questions and that I was having and our I'm sure viewers are having so well and associating with all the examples so that they can relate if I'm talking about the retail. So most of the people or the franchises are thinking that retail is not doing good. But now way you have explained about the Pepper Fry and all these brands, now they can take this decision and they can take up their business to the next level. So now I want to know the franchising industry focus in 2021, like the healthcare, education, retail, food, e-commerce, logistics, and service segments. So can you just elaborate this, this top industry or in this 2021? Yeah.
Surely. So, uh, if you look at typically the category of businesses that we're talking of, we've already covered these six categories,
Yeah.
and what we're talking of is whether is this just the perfect time? Is this just the perfect opportunity for somebody to look at starting a new business, or is this a time to kind of worry? So it brings us to the next section of our talk, which is, is this really a time to contemplate, to wait, or is this the perfect opportunity that one could get?
Yeah.
So let me, delve upon a few points which are talking about how, you know how this entire scenario is. While there is uncertainty on one side, there is opportunity on the other. Let's look at how this can come together. So what this entire category of business, you're looking at typically the strongest survivor, or anybody who's not as deep in, it does not have deep pockets, or maybe does not have sustenance. They're going to close down. So weaker businesses are definitely closing. They will not be able to survive this pandemic. uh, if you look at anybody who's a multi-unit operator, you'll have to get to economies of scale. You'll have to get to a point where your unit level margins are definitely lower. But if you're a strong business, if you have multi operators operating, then if you have an overall chain which is which is operating, then you can optimize the economies of scale, and you can ensure that your franchise and corporate chain is not affected at all. So if you look at being a player which has got a certain spread, then you will stand the test of this time. Which means that as part of being a franchisee, you kind of join hands with a multi-unit operator and make the most of the scale that that particular operator has, which you otherwise individually would not have been able to get. And also, if you're a brand, then if you're operating few units, you might not get those kind of discounts, those kind of volumes from your suppliers, because running one or two outlets might give you very limited growth opportunities, growth scope, but running multiple stores, locations, the whole economies of scale changes, and hence we will see the emergence of the multi-unit operator, while weaker businesses are going to go away. We are also talking of a very important phenomenon because of this COVID-19, which is the shortage of labor. I mean, you look at the different industries that are facing labor challenges right now. The manufacturing is affected hugely. People have gone back to their villages and towns. But I believe in the next 2 3 months, especially in the franchise business scenario, there will be a return to equilibrium because people will have to come back to work, or you will find people who come back from other cities in your city operating. You will get more talent. You will I also believe that because of the uncertainty, people will not leave jobs, so the employee turnover will also reduce. This will definitely improve margins and training costs. So this is a factor that is a positive for most businesses. So keep your team intact and ensure that you're able to upskill them around these times, and make them prepared for the robustness that they are going to see in the coming time. So this is the time to invest in your people, to invest in their skills, to invest in the talent pool, and to ensure that they grow, and they're ready to be able to take the business that is going to come in the next 12 to 24 months. So it takes us to the next point of improving operational efficiency. So as a franchisor, uh, if you were in normal times, you would be super busy through these times, and you would be definitely wondering if you have the time to look at other aspects of franchising your business. So so now is the time to pull in all your resources, to start tightening the screws, start improving your operational efficiencies, start looking at better suppliers. There could be people offering you great pricing at this point in time. So you will stand to gain if you can start working on the support systems that are important at this point in time. This is the time. You will not get this period of kind of looking back, looking deeper into your own business, and trying to see how you can create the foundation that is required to be able to grow. We're also looking at multi-concept franchising. Is a very interesting scenario for existing franchises, or businesses that have multiple brands, or if you have multiple ideas that you want to franchise. So if you are looking at getting to a point where you have one food brand. You could operate a restaurant or a fine dining model in the past, but you can now convert that into a cloud kitchen, use the same brand, and probably use other multiple brands as well as additional offerings. So all multi-unit, all multiple concepts. People who have one brand can operate other brands and start using the economies of scale of operating multiple segments, multiple sectors. In fact, the marketing and recruitment of franchises also, costs will be reduced. In that sense, if you look at it, if you spread it amongst three brands versus the same effort that you put for a single brand, then the cost comes down. So if you have multiple concepts, then this is the time to start leveraging, spreading your eggs in different baskets, and ensuring that you are able to use the same support systems for all the other brands that you have developed. The backend can be similar for most of things, and then you could have different things depending on the growth, depending on the scale that you achieve, until you get to a point where every brand would need dedicated resources, very, very exclusive resources. This could be a great leverage that you can use during these times to reduce your costs. So all these points should get you to a point, get you to understand as to why you must seize the opportunities now. Well, if you look at it, this is a great time to franchise your business or buy a franchise in India. You should set your wheels in motion for the growth that you're going to see in the coming times. Look at the pricing that we have for real estate. It is, you will never get these uh, real estate costs in the coming times. So you can lock properties. Business is going to bounce back. Look at the kind of logistic solutions. Look at the thousands of franchisees that have come up, and the kind of companies that are expanding in the logistics space. I mean, look at the kind of resources available for from website development to, the app developers, to all kind of software CRMs that we have, and all kinds of other upgradation tools that you can use for your businesses. This is the time to look at using automation, using all modern tools for the growth and for the base of your business. So this brings us to the last part of our talk today. I've taken more than 40 minutes now of your time, so we'll wrap it up very quickly. And I believe that if you are a franchisor, then you would have understood that strategic planning. I mean, every franchisor we speak to knows their business quite well, and knows very very clearly that it is critical for them to take this time to be able to make the changes that they want. uh, yes, Bandana.
Yeah, so I think that's what I was wanted to know, that how they can make and utilize this time. Like, can they focus into that strategy part, operation, as you have already told me? So I think yes, our franchisor can do that. They can build up their strategy, and so that they can enhance their business in a proper way.
Absolutely. So if you look at most franchisers who are talking to you,
Yeah,
I'm sure all of them tell you that they know their franchise model, they know their financials,
yeah,
they know what they're doing.
yeah,
Of course, we understand, that they know their financials, they know their business quite well. But there is something, called getting to 1 to 20 franchisees, 20 to 50 franchisees, 50 to
yeah,
100 franchisees, and then to 1,000 franchisees. So
yeah,
you don't want to commit the mistakes that a lot of these brands who got to 1,000 franchisees now have committed along the way.
yeah.
We've seen hundreds of franchisers folding up.
Yeah,
We
and
know
I
this.
think our franchises were not ready or for the uncertain situation. Now, after this experience, we have to understand how to plan our business in that way, so that we can plan all these things, and we can face these situations properly, and make our strategy in that way. Yeah, so because like, if I talk about in terms of marketing, HR activities or legalities, we have to ready, because the show must go on, we can't stop, right? We have to see everything properly. This is what I feel, and this is what I tell our franchises. Now they are stuck somewhere, they're not able to understand how to expand. They want to do it, but how to do it, this is the big question that is coming from every franchisor, and now even from the business seekers also. They are thinking where to invest, how to do that, and this is the right time. I think you have answered all the questions so well, so it will give the clear picture to all our viewers, and to my clients especially, that now they can take a decision that yes, this is the right time, and they can start focusing into the expansion part. Yeah,
Yeah. So like I mean, we always keep telling this.
yeah,
Last year, when we got into this pandemic, it definitely was uncertain. But this year, the uncertain is certain, right? So we know that the uncertainty is there. We are
yeah,
prepared for it, and we know the opportunities that lay ahead. So I believe that this is the time to invest. We also understand that the resources are very very minimalistic, especially when businesses are not doing very well.
yeah,
You have a paucity in the resources that are available. But I would say, if you are investing a rupee at this point in time in these things, it has got the potential of giving you back 1,000 rupees, based on the kind of work that you put in. So
yeah,
you should invest in strategic planning. get to your operations, get to your manuals, get to digital presence, get to protecting your brand, your trademarks, your IPs,
Yeah.
and getting your human resources right, people right, support systems. In fact, when we do the franchise workshop for most of our clients, we cover all of these points, and we tell them that the starting point has to be correct. Whatever resources you have to have it in order of the resources that we are talking of.
Yeah.
So you can't do marketing of a franchise or recruitment of a franchise right away without having other things in place.
Sure.
You can't straight away jump into finding a franchise and saying that, okay, if I get the money from the franchisee, then I will invest in the franchise system. That's surely not the right way. Though franchising is a self-funding exercise, over a period of time, it pays you the money for the expansion for what you've spent. But initially, you will have to invest in the growth of your brand, in the growth of your business. So using a strong, experienced uh, uh, consulting company like Sparkle Minds, or anybody whom you believe you are comfortable with. You should do the credentials. You should review, see the reviews that particular company has got, and
Yeah.
then take a call on which company you would want to work with. You'll get your answers. So get back to strategic planning. Get back to validating your financials, getting your legal documents in place. Do it with an expert, and I'm
Yeah.
sure that you will think back and you will say that COVID-19 was not such a bad period for me. I probably used this time very, very intelligently, and I used this time for making some wise decisions. And maybe 3 to 5 years down the line, I am seeing a franchising boom in India. There is no second question about whether there's going to be a franchising boom. It's only a matter of time that we get to get to a franchising boom, and a point where you will be very, very happy that you invested your time, your effort, your energy, more than the money. I think it's the effort and the energy that you need to give to be able to franchise your business correctly, and then get to appointing the right kind of franchises. So which now comes to, we'll now come to the Q&A,
Yeah.
and then I think there are a lot of questions that entrepreneurs are asking us.
Yeah. We
So
can take
we'll
those
straight
questions.
away jump into the questions that they have. And of course, whatever I spoke right now, you can also find in my blog. You can go to sparkleminds.com and read our blogs. You will see the franchise industry overview 2021 on the Sparkle Minds blog. We keep coming up with interesting topics, with interesting thoughts about different businesses, different franchisees, and how you can make the most from our experience is through those blogs as well. So I'm coming to the questions that a few franchisers are having. We'll
Yeah.
start taking these questions. So
Sure.
the first one is from Premium Ceramics. They are asking us as to how to make a franchise disclosure document.
Yeah.
If you're franchising in India, there is no legislation of building a franchise disclosure document. A FDD document is required in the United States of America. When you're franchising in USA, you need a franchise disclosure document. But I would say that there is a certain way of creating the version of FDD that is applicable for India. You should create a very strong franchise docket that could be presented to franchisees, and we specialize in that. We can help you to create a very, very strong franchise docket that is relevant for India. Once you create the franchise docket, you will be very, very correctly aligned to getting to the kind of businesses that you're talking of. You also have a question as to how to find my first 10 franchise partners. The next question that you're asking us is, can I protect my franchise business idea through copyright? So again, you're talking about which income model is best for a newcomer franchise, whether it's royalty income, whether it is other income model of royalty, what percentage should it be? I'd love to cover all of these points exclusively for you, because it is not the same for everybody. It really differs from company to company. It differs from business model to model. It differs from how much of it are you giving away from your side, and how much of it is the franchisee doing from his side, and what could be a equilibrium that we can create so that the franchisee is succeeding. I mean, remember, the franchisee has to succeed if you have to succeed. So we have to create a model for success for the franchisee, and that's what we'll help you do once we have a detailed discussion. I'd love to have a personal discussion with you after this webinar to be able to help you, get to each of these answers that you're looking at. We also have Mr. Rakesh Shetty, who's talking about, what is the social media reach that we have, what is our opinion about the Academy of Teaching Makeup and Hair. Okay, let me talk to you about our experience that I had in Sri Lanka. We I worked with the number one brand of Sri Lanka in Ceylon. They have around six outlets, and they have a brilliant academy of hair and makeup. So there is a tremendous opportunity in India. We also worked with a couple of brands in this space in India, Lakme being our earliest brands. So you could look at this sector, this segment, very proactively at this point in time. I believe it's a great opportunity, great time to look at setting up the foundation. It requires a bit of work. It needs a bit of, there is, we're dealing in the service segment category. Also, we are dealing in a category which has got its own complications. So we should be able to help you set it up correctly, and help you to franchise the academy for your particular business. In terms of social media reach, we did 5.5 lakh page views last month alone on franchisebazaar.com. We have a database of more than 5,000 people across all major cities of and towns of India. We have a very robust platform. In fact, we operate 100 plus groups that we have across Facebook. We are amongst the most prominent social media platform on Facebook. So there is quite an amount of presence that we've built over the last 20 years, which any brand can leverage. You can be certain that the first few franchisees that we bring in can come in from our own platforms. Our website is a very strong tool. The kind of volume that we do there, we engage over 1 million entrepreneurs annually. That's the kind of page views we get. So once you have your brand on franchisebazaar.com, on the homepage of it, you will start getting fantastic leads. Doing the first 5-10 franchisees has generally been comfortable for us in terms of generating leads for people who are interested. But then on, it is how correctly the model is structured for success for franchisees, and franchisees are able to see that structuring. When you talk to them, they know it's done professionally. They know it's done to support them, to help them. And once they see that, then the conversion rate becomes very high. Thereafter, it'll help you to get the right kind of franchisees. I would say, what happens with our reach is it gives you options. It pretty much gives you a large number of options, and that's what you want as a franchisor. You want options of franchisees. You just don't want to sell your franchisee to anybody. I always say that we award franchisees, we don't sell franchises. So it's critical to get the right balance. Also, we are very reasonable. I mean, we have a very strong account manager service that we've offered to our clients. You can use a multilingual account manager, and at a very reasonable cost, we give you a complete package of getting to the first 5 franchisees and ensuring that you're able to build your franchise business brand and set up the foundation that is required for the success that is there. So we are almost on the verge of closing this session. We've reached 2 p.m. now. I've been speaking for 60 minutes, for an hour now, and I hope that I've answered most questions that anybody would have. If they're looking at franchising their business in India, if you're looking at the best franchise consultants in India, if you're looking at a franchise consulting company, a franchise consulting firm with whom you can work with, You can look at Sparkle Minds. You can go to our YouTube channel. You can go to Twitter. You can go to Insta. You can go to LinkedIn. You can go to Facebook. Any platform that you're comfortable with, and connect with us and keep us posted with what requirements you have, and we'd be more than happy to help you buy a franchise post COVID-19 in India, help you expand your business brand post COVID-19 in India, not only nationally, internationally as well. So I'm signing off now. I'm Amit Nahar. With me is Bandana, and it was a pleasure meeting you all for Saturday. And I'm sure, I hope this has been a productive 1 hour for you, as it has. I've enjoyed. I love speaking on franchising. I can go on for hours together, and there's so much more that I'd like to bring in, that I'd like to give you as we go forward. So stay connected with me. Follow me on LinkedIn, and you will keep seeing me giving you important tips, important tidbits of the franchising work that we do. And of course, we've stopped traveling right now. Everything is virtual. Otherwise, you'd see important, interesting photographs of the journeys that we've had with different brands. So I enjoy this thoroughly, and I look forward to building success stories for the entrepreneurs that we have. And I'd say that stop wishing and start doing.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your knowledge, and your experience. I think our franchises have now the clear idea what they have to do now, and this is the
Great.
right time.
Let's
Thank you,
hope
sir.
let's hope everybody starts doing.
Yeah, yeah. I
Thank
think.
you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.